Hello, this episode is brought to you by Tesco's own custard cream biscuits. Delicious and different from the other ones.
Hi, Namaste, Nithyanandam.
Namaste and Nithyanandam to you. This is Nityha Swarupapriyananda, Swarupapriya for short, which makes it much easier to pronounce. She is a follower of a guru called Swami Nithyananda, aka Swamiji. No, it's with a J-I at the end, Swamiji. And she's going to explain how she is definitely not in a cult. It's something else. Of course, this is a spiritual episode, so I'll have to wear my spiritual headgear in order to tune in to the correct vibrational frequency. Let's dive in.
The guru who I follow is called Nityananda. That's a name that was given to him by the great Mahavatar Babaji.
More on that later.
One of the harshest criticisms I hear on almost a regular basis, this comes up as comments on so many of my videos where I talk about Swamiji.
You do have to wonder why.
A lot of people criticize followers of Nityananda, claiming that we have been brainwashed by a cult leader.
Baseless accusations.
I've done some research about cults.
That's a good starting point.
Now, there's a fine line between a New Age teacher and a cult leader.
Well, it's a very fine line indeed. Some might say inexistent, but then again, some people join cults.
A New Age teacher is someone who's had an experience and they decide that they want to share that experience with other people.
Much like I'm doing here with you, sharing my wonderful experience.
A cult leader is someone who wants other people to praise them, to worship them, to glorify them.
Well, he does have, he's surrounded by sycophants and he sits on a throne of gold, if that doesn't quite tell you something. But, anyway.
And to consider them as something better than others.
What do you think about Swamiji? Is he better than others?
Swamiji is not an ordinary person. He is a living incarnation. His mind power is like off the charts.
But he's not a cult leader, right?
Swamiji is the exact opposite of a cult leader.
Okay, so he's not a cult leader, he's some kind of divine incarnation, that has special powers.
He is a divine incarnation who has come to the planet at this time in our world's history to give us the true transformation, the fruits of what we've been seeking. And I feel extremely blessed to be not only his devotee, but also an Adinavasi, somebody who lives full-time in his Adinam.
That's pretty standard.
So someone who sets themselves up as a spiritual guide or as a spiritual teacher falls into one of these two categories. Either they want other people to gain from their experience, or they feel such a huge starvation for attention.
Like I said before, he does sit on a throne of gold, surrounded by sycophants.
They want to gain money.
He does charge $10,000 for an awakening course that gives you special powers, supposedly.
Maybe they want to gain power.
Well, first you get the money, then you get the power, and then you get...
So they start marginalizing other people by first enticing them with maybe some cool stories about themselves.
So you mentioned before that he got his name from a divine being. That does sound a bit like a cool story that would entice someone.
One day suddenly, a bright young sadhu walking towards me. He is not having physical body, he is in the light body. I first thought, am I hallucinating?
That's quite likely.
When I tried to touch him, I was able to feel him. And he gave me this name which I am carrying now.
Wow. Where do I sign?
Maybe some interesting, almost science fiction fantasies about future possibilities.
Swamiji certainly didn't promise anything like that.
Anything you say, even if it is not under the Newton's physical law, will become reality.
That doesn't sound very science fiction-y to me.
Then they set it up so that they make it seem as if they have all the answers and nobody else does.
Well, I certainly wouldn't think that an avatar or living incarnation of super consciousness would have any answers that a regular human wouldn't have. right? Someone who claims to cure a range of life-threatening and chronic diseases, including cancer, paralysis, infertility, asthma, and Alzheimer's, with a single touch. That's certainly something that ordinary people are able to do. He's like a superpower vending machine.
And from there, people are hooked.
And I suppose you're not hooked on him.
One of the first things the cult leader will do is try to gain complete compliance, complete agreement from every single person who joins.
That's interesting because a few who have left tend to see it exactly that way.
Nithyananda went on to say how Nithyananda treated his devotees like slaves and how he wanted all his devotees to follow his orders.
It convinces members that by doing certain things they'll gain certain powers.
And Swamiji never promised anyone any special powers.
I'm going to transmit it to you. These are various powers, like you will be able to see anything. You will be able to hear anything. You will be able to taste anything. You will be able to feel anything, like these various powers. When the psychological levitation happens, then the physical levitation, it will raise and be there in the air for quite a few minutes.
But they never actually gain those powers.
Right, so it's okay if he promises powers as long as people get them. For example, people have actually been able to levitate thanks to Swamiji.
He got them to jump and jump repeatedly while sitting. This, he called, was his style of levitation.
Any special powers that you gained, by any chance?
I have actually had experience seeing with my eyes closed while blindfolded what's on the other side of the blindfold.
Ah, the old blindfold trick. Let's have a look at that.
Can you breathe? No.
She'll have to lift the blindfold up so she can breathe, and then she can also see.
Stuck on my nose. Got it? See B.
Of course you can see B. You can see everything through that gap. I mean, look at the angle of the paper. Is it just me or what? Are there any, like, actual powers that you've been able to demonstrate? Let's have a look in slow motion here. You can see the hand moves before the coconut. And there it is. Right, so how could that be explained by anything other than a superpower?
All that I really did in the moment when he told me to do it with my eyes was think of Swamiji and say, okay, Swamiji, you can do it through this body. Then I just gazed at that coconut and told it to flip over, and it did.
Swarupapriya, I don't know what to say. Well, I mean, you were there, you saw it, and you still think that it was some kind of special power given to you by Swamiji. Is this a cry for help? Is this video that you made a cry for help?
When it comes to superpowers like those that are illusory and that seem to be impossible, that are kind of offered as empty promises by cult leaders.
But the superpowers that Swamiji gave you are real. They're definitely real. They're like miracles or something.
Miracles are like the evidence that you are on the right path.
They just can't go anywhere without a cardboard cutout of this guy, can they?
Otherwise, you will be like the people who are meditating for 20 years doing only one kriya and there is no power to show.
Not a single power to show. But thankfully, you guys have these real powers. Wait for it. Wait for it. This is going to be good, guys. It's going to be good.
He's not creating a system in which he shows off some special ability and then expects all of us to just go wow over what he's able to do. He's giving us those special abilities so that we get that wow factor about our own selves.
And here it comes. Out it goes. It's just wonderful. Let's look at the slow motion replay here, and the moment they come out, and it is, ladies and gentlemen, some small gems that were in a mouth came out of a mouth and onto a hand. This is truly a miracle. What else could be happening?
There are so many ways in which Swamiji's organization is not a cult, and in which Swamiji is not a cult leader, that I could probably make a 5-hour video and still not cover all of them.
Right, I don't think I'd be able to sit through 5 hours, but can you just give us your strongest reason why he isn't a cult leader and why you're not in a cult?
From my personal experience, the number one reason I know Swamiji is genuine, that he's the real deal, that he's not some fake trying to get something from me,
Okay, this sounds promising. This might be a real reason.
is that for years, from the time I was about 18 years old, I've seen him in my dreams.
We're going to need a little bit more than that to pay $10,000 for an awakening course run by him. By the way, I mean, what do you even gain from it?
After 21 days of yoga, of pure, cruelty-free, organic, sattvic, vegetarian food, their bodies have become cleansed and detoxified.
And you've verified this, how exactly?
Their minds have become open.
Yes, they certainly have become open, as yours is. So open, in fact, that, as they say, your brains have fallen out. To be honest, I don't want to get to the point where I think that someone moving a coconut with their hand is performing some kind of superpower. This is just me, you know? Someone who's closed-minded.
I say this world is awesome, and the reason that I feel so good about the world now is that I have the blessing of Swamiji, His Holiness Paramhamsa Shri Nithyananda, in my life.
Amen to that. I think that this video of hers was a cry for help. It was very clear because everything she said indicated that she is, in fact, in a cult. This might be just me, my interpretation of things, and of course the disclaimer, as always, applies.
I'm not going to tell you that this is fact. I am simply saying, decide for yourself.
And until next time, see you later.